Hi, I'm Rachel from Airways Flyers, and in this video we're going to be looking at how to choose your first pair of hiking boots and what to look for when you're out shopping for them. So I'll start at the easy end of the spectrum here with the examples I've got. This is a lightweight trail running shoe. This is really good for day hikes and when I'm not carrying big loads. It's something that I do most of my trail running in, so if I'm going to be running as opposed to walking, I'll definitely go for this. It's got a bit of grip on the sole, which sets it apart from your normal sort of sneaker. Other than that, it doesn't have much ankle support, so it's not great on really uneven surfaces, or again if I am carrying a heavy load, because I'm not going to be as stable. Okay, so the second shoe that we're going to look at is the Salewa Speed Ascent. So this is actually an approach shoe, something that you use in conjunction with, say, a heavier weight mountaineering boot, where you're walking in on an easy trail and then switching to actually climbing later on in the day. You would wear these on the approach in, and then you would put them in your bag and swap them for your mountaineering boot once you actually start climbing. Now they've got a Vibram sole on them here, which means they're going to give you a nice bit of grip when you're on slippery or uneven surfaces. And the sole unit is a little bit more grunty than something you would get from, say, a lightweight trail running shoe, so it's still good for carrying heavier weights in your back. So once you start thinking about heading onto rougher trails, or you're going away for longer, or you're carrying more weight in your pack, you need to move from a shoe into an actual boot. A boot's going to give you some more ankle support. The sole's going to be a bit meatier, so it's going to be more comfortable when you are carrying those heavier loads. And it's going to give you more protection around places like your toes, where you've got things like rands, which can help if you're banging your foot against a rock or something like that. The boot which I choose to do most of my lighter hiking in is the Salewa Mountain Trainer Mid. I like this because it's got a good amount of protection with this rand which runs the whole way around the boot. Now that means if I'm going through scree or anything really sharp and rocky, it's going to protect the main upper part of the boot and it's not going to get damaged as easily. It's also got a Vibram sole, which you can see here I've actually managed to wear down quite a lot, and that's because we've got really sharp, rocky, scree terrain here in Canterbury. So it's done a wee bit of damage to the boot over the 3 years that I've been wearing it. Other than that, you can see it's got that ankle support I was talking about, which means it's harder for me to roll my ankle when I'm wearing these boots. And it's a nice, comfortable fit in terms of how flexible the sole unit is. You can definitely get more flexible than this, and if you're just doing easy overnight hikes, then go for something that's got a good amount of bend in it, because it's going to be more comfortable to walk in initially. The reason I've gone for something that's a wee bit more rigid is just that I'm going off-road more often into more uneven terrain, and I just need something with a bit more structure to it. One of the next things that you want to think about is, do you need to use crampons with your boot? So these are the Salewa Rapaces, and they've got a crampon-specific bail on the back, and this is the first boot I started to use when I needed to put crampons on as part of the trip that we were doing. I wore these when we were doing the 3 passes. That's a trip over the New Zealand Southern Alps where you do a lot of tramping down in riverbeds, and then you have to pop up over these 3 passes that have a lot of snow and ice on them. It was really nice that I could have a little bit of flex in the boot, which made it comfortable for walking down in those riverbeds, but once I got up onto the passes I could put my crampon on and they're rigid enough that I can walk comfortably even on reasonably steep slopes with my ice axe. So this selection here is really your tramping, hiking specific scenario. Moving on from there, we're getting into more mountaineering boot territory. This is the Garmon Tower Plus, and it's a bit of a recent acquisition of mine that I'm excited about. It's really well suited to mountaineering in New Zealand because often we have long approaches that we're walking into before we actually do our climb, and they're comfortable enough that I can do both those things. I can do the walk-in with them and still do my climbing without needing to take an approach shoe and my full-on mountaineering boot. Haven't had too much time to practice with these, so I'll definitely have to post a review after they've been up a few more summits and I can give you some better feedback on them. But yeah, as I said, pretty excited about these. So this brings us to the last boot in my collection, and this is my Scarpa Cumbre. It's a fully leather insulated mountaineering boot and it's totally rigid. I bought these about a year ago to go on a technical mountaineering course with Adventure Consultants down in Wanaka. We spent a week at the top of the Tasman Glacier in a place called Kalman Hut, and we were going over skills from crevasse rescue to pitching and rappelling. So those are awesome in terms of still being comfortable but allowing me to do all of those technical skills at the same time. You can get away with wearing a leather boot in New Zealand because it's not quite as cold, but definitely needed that extra insulation while we were up at that height. If you've got any questions for us, feel free to head over to airwayspires.com and drop us a line, and also check out some of our other blog posts while you're there.